She was just a maid, quietly working in the corner of the luxury hotel, invisible to everyone, until the phone rang. The moment she picked it up and spoke in flawless Dutch, the entire room went silent. A millionaire at the bar turned, his eyes wide with shock. Why would a maid know the language of diplomats and royalty? Heart racing, he stood up and demanded to see her. What was she hiding behind that uniform, and why did it matter to him? The luxury hotel sparkled with marble floors and golden chandeliers. Businessmen rushed past, wealthy tourists lounged with cocktails, and staff hurried to meet every demand. In the middle of it all, no one noticed Naomi, the quiet maid with tired eyes and a uniform a size too big. She worked silently, polishing tables and collecting glasses, blending into the background like wallpaper. That was how she preferred it. In a place built for the rich and powerful, she was invisible. But that all changed in a single moment. As she bent down to pick up a fallen napkin, the front desk phone rang. The receptionist was nowhere in sight, so Naomi instinctively reached for the receiver. Hotel Astoria, good evening, she began politely. But the voice on the other end spoke quickly, in Dutch. Without hesitation, Naomi responded in the same language, her words flowing effortlessly. Her tone shifted, confident and professional, unlike the timid way she usually spoke. The conversation lasted only seconds, but it was enough. Across the room, a man sitting in the corner lowered his glass of wine. He was tall, impeccably dressed, with silver cufflinks that gleamed in the light. His presence commanded the space, though few recognized him. Adrian Van Doren, a millionaire businessman, known for investments across Europe, was not easily surprised. Yet now his sharp eyes followed Naomi, his expression unreadable. She hung up the phone quickly and returned to wiping down a table, as though nothing had happened. But Adrian could not take his eyes off her. Dutch? Perfect Dutch, spoken with the ease of a native. What was a maid in an American hotel doing answering calls like that? His mind raced. Was it coincidence, or something far deeper? Naomi kept her head down, unaware that her entire life had just shifted. The man she was trying not to notice was already standing, already crossing the lobby toward her. When his voice finally broke the silence, it sent a chill down her spine. "Excuse me," Adrian said firmly. "I need to speak with you. Right now." Naomi froze, her cloth slipping from her hand. Guests turned to stare. Why would a millionaire want to speak to a maid? She swallowed hard, her heart pounding. Should she answer him, or pretend she had not heard? Naomi froze when she heard his voice. Everyone in the lobby was now staring. A maid and a millionaire, it was not a scene people saw every day. Her heart raced as Adrian stopped right in front of her. "Miss," he said firmly. That was Dutch. "Where did you learn to speak like that?" Naomi's fingers tightened on the cleaning cloth. She tried to keep calm. "Oh, just a little," she whispered. Adrian's eyes narrowed. "Do not lie to me. I am from the Netherlands. Your Dutch was perfect, like someone who lived there for years. Who are you really?" Naomi's chest tightened. She wanted to walk away, but her legs felt heavy. She hated this. She had worked so hard to stay invisible, to be just another maid no one noticed. But now, this man had seen her. "Please, sir," she said softly, "I just need to get back to work." Before Adrian could answer, the hotel manager rushed over. His face was red, his voice sharp. "Is something wrong here?" Adrian straightened his back, calm again. "No problem," he said. "I just want a private word with your employee." The manager looked at Naomi, annoyed. "Naomi, take Mr. Van Doren to the guest lounge. At once." Naomi's stomach dropped. So the manager knew who this man was. Of course, Adrian Van Doren was not just rich, he was powerful. She had no choice now. She led him through the quiet hallway. Her steps were slow, her mind racing. Why had she answered that phone? Why had she let her secret slip? When they reached the lounge, Adrian closed the door behind them. Naomi felt trapped. "Sit," he said softly, but firmly. She sat, her hands shaking in her lap. Adrian leaned forward. His voice was low, but there was no doubt in his tone. "You are not just a maid. And I will not stop until I know the truth. Naomi's breath caught. She had kept her past buried for years. Now, with one phone call, everything was at risk of being revealed. Naomi sat stiff in the chair, her hands twisting nervously. The silence in the lounge felt heavy, like a weight pressing down on her chest. Adrian's eyes never left her face. He was not angry, but he was searching, like a man who already knew the answer and was only waiting for her to admit it. I asked you once, he said slowly, and I will ask again. Who are you? Naomi shook her head quickly. I am no one. Just a maid. Adrian leaned back, studying her. No one does not speak Dutch like that. You sounded like someone raised in The Hague. Every word, every sound, you were not guessing. You were remembering. Her heart skipped. She could not let him dig deeper. Not here. Not now. Sir, she whispered, I came to this country to start over. Please, let me keep my life quiet. But Adrian shook his head. Quiet. His voice softened, almost kind now. You are hiding, Naomi. I can see it. But why? Tears burned at the edge of her eyes, and she quickly looked down at her lap. She had promised herself she would never speak of the past again. The past brought pain, danger, and memories she had worked so hard to bury. I do not understand why this matters to you, she said, her voice breaking. Adrian's jaw tightened. Because I recognize you. Naomi's head shot up, her eyes wide. No, that is impossible. But Adrian's face was certain. Years ago, in Amsterdam, there was a family that disappeared overnight. I remember a little girl. She was gifted with languages. She spoke Dutch, French, and English like they were all her mother tongue. Her name was Naomi. Naomi's breath caught. Her whole body went cold. He knew. The walls she had built around herself were crumbling. Adrian was not guessing anymore, he was remembering. She stood quickly, shaking her head. You are mistaken. Please. I cannot talk about this. But Adrian rose too, his voice low but urgent. Then answer me this. Why would a maid in America hide the voice of a girl who once spoke in Dutch to kings and ambassadors? Naomi's tears finally fell. She could not stop them. For so long, she had lived as if her past had died, but this man, this stranger, was digging it back up. Because, she whispered, her voice trembling, the moment people know who I really am, my life will no longer be mine. Adrian froze. His chest tightened as he looked at her, this maid, this woman who carried something she had buried deep. And for the first time, Naomi realized she could no longer keep the truth hidden. Naomi's tears glistened as she sat back down. She could feel her heart beating so loudly it echoed in her ears. For years, she had told herself silence was safety. But now, the secret was pressing against her chest, demanding to be spoken. Adrian leaned forward, his voice softer now, almost careful. Naomi. Who are you really? She closed her eyes, drawing in a shaky breath. When she finally spoke, her words were heavy with pain. I was not always a maid. I was the daughter of a man who worked with embassies in Europe. I grew up in The Hague. I was trained to speak languages, to greet officials, to carry myself like someone from high society. But one night, everything ended. Adrian stayed silent, listening intently. Naomi's voice cracked as she continued. My father uncovered something powerful, dangerous. He refused to stay quiet, and for that, he lost everything. We had to disappear overnight. I was just a teenager. We came to America with nothing but fear. From that day on, I promised myself I would never stand out again. No more languages. No more brilliance. Just silence. I thought being invisible would keep me safe. Her hand shook as she wiped away her tears. That is why I became a maid. No one questions the maid. No one remembers her name. Adrian's chest tightened. For the first time, the strong businessman felt something unexpected, respect mixed with sorrow. You have lived in shadows, he said quietly. But your gift, it was never meant to be hidden. You carry something powerful, Naomi. I can see it in you. Naomi shook her head, almost angry. Power only brings danger. The more people notice me, the more I risk everything. You do not understand. Adrian stepped closer, his voice firm now. I do understand. I know what it means to lose. But hiding forever is not living, it is surviving. You deserve more than this uniform. The world deserves to hear your voice again. Naomi looked up at him, her eyes filled with conflict. For years she had believed her life was small, meant only for cleaning rooms and walking unseen through grand halls. Yet here stood a man who refused to see her as invisible. The silence stretched. Finally, Adrian extended his hand. Let me help you. Not as a maid, but as the woman you truly are. Naomi hesitated. Every instinct told her to retreat back into the safety of silence. But another part of her, a part buried for years, longed to breathe again, to step into the light. Slowly, with trembling fingers, she placed her hand in his. At that moment, Naomi realized her life would never be the same. The maid was gone. The woman she had buried long ago was alive once more.